I live in London, I can't afford to drive.
Accommodation, then that's also paying for the car and then paying for food, which is, I'd say, it's quite a lot of money.
It's so expensive.
I think we just love the luxury of wanting to have a car, but we don't really account for the cost of what it takes to rent a car.
For many, the cost of travelling by public transport has increased and it's not been any easier for motorists. Come with me on a journey to find out whether the working class are being priced out of driving and also why young people tend to be the hardest hit. So I'm here now in the streets of Covent Garden. Come with me to speak to members of the public to find out whether they think driving is worth it in London in this day and age.
In London, absolutely not.
I would say no.
I'm going to say no, just because especially right now with like the prices and inflations and everything.
Yes.
I'd say so, yes.
Especially for me, the idea of like going on road trips and like spontaneous trips, and it's worth it.
I guess it depends where you live. Here, there's a lot of different options.
Absolutely, but not in London.
It helps everyone get to a place quicker, so A to B a bit quicker.
I probably would have pushed myself had I had the money, but I understand why people would oppose to not getting a car today. Honestly, it's so expensive. The cost, I just realised.
It has been observed from a recent study that the ever-rising cost of driving and maintaining a car is beyond the means of numerous motorists. The main costs include insurance, fuel, servicing, and road tax, and for many young people, this has been enough to stop them from learning to drive. Gavin tells us more about this.
My name's Gavin Dominique, I'm a young 39. I've been doing mechanics since I was about 16. Prices have gone through the roof on a lot of stuff. Simple things like oil used to be, for argument's sake, we buy them in big barrels. They used to be about £200 a barrel. Now, we bought one last week and it was just short of 600 quid. Just to drive is expensive. You got insurance, young drivers, I think it's under 24 get penalised. 9 times out of 10, the insurance that they're paying per year is actually more than what the cars are worth. Around here, it's all parking permits. So all the small businesses are now struggling because people can't park. Like you've got cafes, you've got hairdressers, you've got us. People, they've got 30-minute bays, but they're very like about 5 or 6. So when you think if you're trying to share 5 or 6 bays between 20 shops, it's near on impossible, to be honest with you. So yeah, you find there's a lot more parking tickets probably being issued. ULEZ and congestion, I think you're penalising people that can't afford to buy new cars. There's a lot of people out there that can't afford that 16 plus number plate, and now they've got to get rid of a perfectly good car to get something a bit more newer. And if you haven't got the money to buy it, what's just forcing people to get into debt? Because people are taking out finance and stuff like that, which they haven't really got, but they haven't really got a choice. And electric cars are so expensive. Like they're a lot more than your normal standard car.
My name is Leah. I'm a nurse. I live in Essex on my own. I've been driving since I was 18. But I just think that driving is so expensive.
So having said that, do you feel like young people specifically are being priced out of driving? Because I feel like a big element is that some people choose not to drive just because they don't want to.
Yeah.
But do you feel like some people are not even allowed the choice because of the price of things?
Yeah, and back in the day, it used to only be middle and upper class that could drive or get on planes or do really expensive things, go to expensive restaurants. But I feel like now, so many people have access to nice restaurants, so many people are flying, so many people are driving cars and hiring nice cars. Because there's a mass of people doing all these things that back in the day only the upper and middle class were doing, I think the government's trying to cap on that because then it's not exclusive anymore. Especially with driving, like now, I know that with the driving tests, there's people waiting 6 months to a year to get a driving test. They don't even, like, there's not even any tests available when they go on the website, which is crazy because that never used to be the case. When I was looking for a test, there was loads of dates, but now people can't get any dates, and it's like the population of young people that age has not gone up. Do you get what I mean? It's more or less the same. Getting cars is harder, like the criteria to get finance is a lot harder. Second-hand cars are going up in price. Petrol, you get what I mean? It's just making it harder for younger people to have access. Not even younger people, but people of lower class and working class to have access to these things.
The idea that our highways are a shared resource for all of us seem to be gradually being thrown out of the window. My name is Ian Taylor. I am one of 5 directors that run the Alliance of British Drivers. It's the actual biggest chunk of what you pay on every litre of fuel you buy actually goes to the government. It suits the government to have high fuel prices because they take more fuel duty and VAT on it. So I point a large finger of blame fairly and squarely at the Treasury. The minute the majority of people can't afford anything, it becomes a minority activity which can only be afforded by the wealthiest. And the need to be socially mobile, to get around, to get to and from work, and indeed to do your job if you happen to be a job that involves calling on people. Delivery drivers is always the first one that comes to mind, but it can also mean people like carers and social workers that have to call on people in their homes. They have got to be able to get around and get around under their own steam.
Hi, my name's Gifty, I'm 38 and I'm from Surrey, Croydon.
The government have suggested that 50% of journeys made in the UK should be by walking or cycling, as part of plans to become more environmentally friendly. Despite this, majority of Brits still prefer to travel by car, and Gifty tells us more about why driving is such a big part of her life.
I've been driving since 2011. I use my car for both leisure and business. My motivation for wanting to drive was because I was doing a lot of studio sessions. So they can be north, west, south, east, etc., stuff like that. Being able to get to the sessions safely, and even sometimes I had studio sessions outside London, maybe Slough or something like that. I wanted to be able to have the freedom to be able to go there, be safe, and get home promptly. It just made me feel much more safer that I was in control of how I was going to be able to get home. And for young people who are still discovering themselves, I think they should be allowed to have the opportunity to experience driving and have the opportunity to be able to choose if they want to drive, as opposed to it being so expensive that they can't drive.
In the winter when it's raining and snowing, it's nice to get in my car, put my heaters on, put my radio on and drive to work. So yeah, convenience. Yeah, it's a lot easier, yeah.
We're now at the end of the road of our journey, and I've found that driving is just another area that the cost of living crisis has made worse. But whether you choose to travel by bicycle, public transport or by motor, ultimately that choice should remain yours.